Blessings, everybody. It is August 2023, and we have stepped into Lionsgate. Lionsgate started opening on the 26th of July, and this is the time that my team has always shown me. It always begins to open, which is right after we've honored Mary Magdalene across the world. For those of you that know that have been listening to videos, every year I hold an event for the Sisters of the Rose, which initiates women to remember and to have their Magdalene codes activated in them through the steps that we take in the 3 days and the initiations and all of the purification work that's done. It's a very powerful, we've just finished that. And on the actual day of the 22nd, which is the day that we globally honor Mary Magdalene for who she truly was, a wife and disciple, and a very magical, powerful woman like Isis, because that's who she is. This honoring of this sacred heart continues. So during that time period when many of us women across the world open up these gates of love, of the unconditional love of the Sacred Heart, it begins to amplify that unconditional love of the divine feminine upon the planet, of our cosmic mother into our earth mother. And this energy just flows. And during this time, a lot of you might be feeling the flow that was happening. So I know a lot of people in Sedona here were actually commenting. They weren't at our event, but they were saying, we feel what you're doing at your event to Shekina and I, and that the power of the divine feminine is really amplified the 20th, 21st, and 22nd when we were holding the event here. So please know that that's just the beginning of the activation and the amplification of love that flows into Lionsgate. I talked about this last year as well. And so here we are now, the 26th of July is when the gate starts to open. And those gates are also, when we talk about those gates, they're associated with our gates, which actually are our chakras. But in Egypt, we used to call our chakras gates or gateways. So for some of you may not know that, a lot of people don't know that, but these came up in my memories because that's why when I do my meditations and connect in Egypt and stuff, they always call the chakras the gateways. Which reminds me, the Egypt retreat is sold out. It's sold out very fast. We have a large number coming. However, I've got still have people asking me if they can come. We're doing our best to accommodate anyone else that does want to come. We're trying to get extra rooms. So if you definitely want to come, we need to know by Friday, because we're working with the tour guide, who is helping us set this up. So please let us know immediately if you're definitely still interested, because we've already sold out. And people are like, please let me come, because they know the power and the work that I have done for years. So they want to be there with us. So that is on my website. The website's right there if you want to check that out. It's going to be a very powerful event. It starts on the solar eclipse in October. So please let us know ASAP. Otherwise, it is sold out. So Lionsgate and August. Venus retro. I have a channeled message from Lady Venus that came through me on July 27th, and I will be also putting that on YouTube, and I'll be attaching that in the newsletter for everyone. Also, if you want to get the newsletter, it has a lot of different information. I just had a huge channeling for the newsletter yesterday that I won't be talking about on here. Again, it's on the website. You can sign up for it. It comes in once a month and you receive activations that way. And they're very, very powerful. I get messages every time I send one out. People coming back going, whoa, that made sense, or whoa, that resonated, or whoa, I feel the activation from that message. So it's another way to stay in touch and receive stuff that I don't talk about on here. So Leo is love. Leo represents the love, but Leo's also a very masculine sign. Now, I am not an astrologer, okay? But I started reading astrology when I was a young girl, like 11, 12 years old, from the library. And so I have a little bit of information on it, and then I have a lot of friends that are astrologers. But we are stepping into this courage of really opening and following our sacred heart. It is the unity, the unification of the one soul, the unification of the one heartbeat, the one love that we all are. We are all the one, the I am. It is all within us. It's in our sacred heart. We are connected here, and our divinity is in our DNA. Our spirit is flowing through our DNA that holds our divinity, our memory codes for all that we've ever been. So this Lionsgate is opening up this amplification of the Sacred Heart, as it always does. But also the Leo is ego, okay? So we also have Venus in retro going on. So Venus in retro is like, what I'm receiving is Venus in retro is slowing us down on that path of love to look at the relationship within us, within ourselves, how we treat ourselves, how we are towards the self-love for ourselves. Are we allowing ourselves to be who we are without taking on that which is from the outside world that pulls us into the egoic tendencies that we need to let go of? In other words, an inflated ego, okay, an inflated ego, meaning we are in the service to self rather than the service to source. And the inflated ego and the service to self, we are doing things that are only for us rather than for the all. So we need to remember that we are all. We are all one. We are one heart. We are the one I am presence through all of us. And the divinity of all that you are is in your connection here, always. Makaratura nashane marair naya. So you are going to be pushed in this slow down with the Venus retro to look at the relationship with yourself, but also your relationships with others, how you're treating others in your life, but also how you're treating yourself and how others are treating you. And if you're being treated in a way that does not feel good for you at all, it doesn't feel good on your body, it doesn't feel good in the relationship, then this is where we step back and we take a look. We take a look at how we're allowing ourselves to be treated, but also how we can step forward and say no more. This isn't for me. And this isn't just necessarily relationships in relationships like partnerships, lovers, husband, wife. It's not just that. It's in our relationships with people we work with. Maybe you have someone you have to answer to at work that just treats you not so nice because they're very inflated ego. Those are the things that we are here to look at and see. And when we change that within ourselves by taking the action that says, I don't deserve to be treated this way, you do not come from a space and place of love, that's when you can step back and say no more. I'm not saying run and quit your job. What I'm saying is have a talk with those persons and see what happens for you. See if you can shift and change that. If you can't and that person's not in acceptance or agreement, then this is where you follow your heart and make the decision that's right for you. But Venus retro and Lionsgate, I mean, there's it's a pushback on the ego, but it's also a divine opening of the heart. And we are all being given the opportunity to really step into our heart, to feel that which when we are here, how everything is so different around us, how we feel about ourselves, the energy that we're giving out to the world, and also the energy we're receiving back. You have that opportunity. Now, today is the 1st, and I'm filming this, and the cosmic energies, wow, they're flowing in. I've just been feeling them, woo, coming in waves of energy yesterday, the 31st for me, because everyone's different, we're all having our own experience, but yesterday for me, I literally felt like I didn't have a physical head. On my Patreon, I was talking about this, and I was so wide open, more than ever, but the physicality and the density of the neck and head was gone. And I was just like, what's happening to me today? And what my guides had said, because it channeled through on Patreon on the Q&A that I had and channeling, it said that um, my consciousness expanding was allowing the sacred union within me at a higher level. So we are going through this process to integrate the higher self into this physical being, this physical vessel that we are. And it takes time. You go a little bit at a time, because you have to release the old parts of your identity to allow that what you truly are to align and come in, to balance, and be that walking, talking vibration of love upon the planet, allowing your higher self to take you where you need to go. And the other thing, this is so amazing, is that I've been getting up in the morning, this has been happening for a long time, but I want to go one way because my ego say, okay, I'm going this way, I'm going to go make a cup of tea. But my physical body is like going, no, we're going this way. And you really can't fight it. Because when you try to go the way that the higher self's trying to go, when you try to go the way that you want to go and the higher self's going another way, an obstacle is created and something can happen. So when you feel the physical body just starting to take over, let it go. Go along with it, go with the flow. Because the higher self is taking you and showing you something else that you're supposed to be doing instead. Okay, very important. So all the times that I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go make my tea, and the physical body was doing its own, going this way, okay, it was taking me outside to go directly just to Gaia first before I even put anything in my body in the morning. Allow yourself to feel and allow yourself to listen. There's a huge, huge, yesterday in the channeling and the Q&A on my Patreon with the Patreon people, listening was one of the biggest things that kept coming in as a message. Listen, listen, listen. Listen to your body, listen to your higher self, listen to the synchronicities you get, listen to the information that's flowing to you. Listen, so important. And I'm going to give you an example. Some people will go in meditation, they get this information, they'll write it down, they'll see some synchronicities throughout the day that confirms the meditation. They're like, oh yeah, that was that. But they never actually do what the meditation showed them to do for that day. They just put it aside, and what the Pleiadians were saying is they put it aside and they're like, oh, I'm going to go do something better and bigger than what this said. But when you're doing that, you're actually creating an obstacle because you're not listening to what your higher self has just told you. So you can create an obstacle and you can create all kinds of other stuff in between. That's when you're letting the ego take over. So if we listen to what came through, we're listening with the heart. We're listening with the eyes of the heart. We are aligned in our sacred heart where our information flows to. That's very important. My older videos, I did a whiteboard and talked about how the ego identity out here, the false ego identity is out here. You can choose to live from that one, but that's the programmed ego, who you think you are, but that you're really not. We're here to align here into the pineal and down to the sacred heart. We align. And of course, we align above and down below to that earth star chakra that holds us here on this planet, because we're physical beings, we're vessels for spirit. So into this information that flowed in, this channeling that I did, I believe I mentioned it already. I don't know, I forget everything so fast now. That's another thing. When we are forgetting a lot of stuff right now. I'm going to mention this really quick so I don't forget. I'm going to write this down. Because when we forget, what's happening is we're forgetting the things that we do not need to know right now in this moment. We do not need to hold on to anymore because it's not serving us. So we are forgetting the things that are not aligning us, okay, with our soul and our divinity, with maybe our path. Instead, we are having the open field of communication is coming in, and when it comes in and we allow it to come in and we follow this communication of the one within ourselves, as the I am presence, we forget the things that have been programmed, we forget the things that we think we have to do, and we allow ourselves to follow the golden path. We allow ourselves to focus on where we are going and where we are going in life. Is there a purpose? You have a mission, and your mission is to be here. It is to love. It is to laugh. It is to be in bliss. It is to heal. It is to learn. It is to follow your lessons. And when you do that, a lot of people step out of those karmic loops that they've been in for a long time, and the karmic loops are just the learning cycles, what they are. But if you're ready to move on to the next, then listen. Listening is very important. The channeling that came through on the 27th came directly from Venus, and like I said, I will put that in the newsletter. It's, I think, about 18 or 19 minutes. It's very beautiful channeling for what's going on right now at Lionsgate and Venus retro. I will try to get it on YouTube as well. Independence. I keep getting independence. Even when I'm pulling cards, I keep getting independence. So we are moving into more of disconnecting from the codependency. So many people are very codependent on that which doesn't serve us. Let's put it that way. There's no one here that is your savior, no politicians, no leaders on the planet, no institutions of any sort. You should not be codependent on any of them because you are here to save yourself. Nobody's going to save you. You are the Christ consciousness. You are the feminine and masculine Christ within yourself. It is in your DNA. It is in your cells. And the activations occur through the light anomalies that are coming into the planet. And this is where you learn. This is where you activate. This is where you allow, observe, and grow. This is your evolution. Through the cycles that you have chosen to live. It is here that we know one another, that we know each other as a unified field, as a unified consciousness, as a unified love, as one sacred heart. Maratakira, nasaras notura, mañana naya. Naya Guantanama Yarasahayana Moru. Okay. Unity. This Lionsgate is so beautiful. It's a unified, it's just, I just keep seeing the hearts, everyone's hearts just coming together as one big heartbeat, one big pulse of light. And I also see the consciousness expansion happening. There are, of course, going to be people going through purification, as always with Lionsgate. That will always happen. I have a video from maybe 2017. It's got about 50,000 views on it for Lionsgate. I explain everything about Lionsgate, how it lines up with the Belt of Orion, how the pyramids line up, the stars. It's all in there. It's information. I know a lot of people have gone and used it because they've actually said, we took your information because it was so explained so well. So if you want to go back and dig that one up, it's on the YouTube and look at that. But this happens every year, Lionsgate. And one of the things I always say is the 8 is the infinity symbol. Okay, you are infinite beings. We are all eternal. So the number 8, turn it sideways, infinite, but also it is the number of the Christ consciousness, is what my guides have taught me, because the Christ consciousness is infinite, it's eternal, as well as the I am. We are eternal. I am is eternal. We are never ending. So this Lionsgate is very important when we can take the time to just sit, allow ourselves to receive the activations that will come in, be on the earth, allow those blissful codes to come in, and open your heart. There will be a lot of people that are going to have a rude heart awakening. Those that haven't had it yet, you might be having pain in the heart because it's going to start cracking open. There are many of you that will have heart expansion. And I know for myself, it's been very uncomfortable to, and I'm going to say this just because it's the truth, it's been very uncomfortable the last couple of weeks that this has, since it started to have the bra hooked in the back, because the expansion of the heart actually connects with the physicality as well. So the energy is like, when I'm like, oh, take that off. So just a little chuckle for you. But if you feel that, you're feeling that's uncomfortable, ladies, do what you have to do. Make yourself comfortable, because it's just, don't suffer, okay? Don't suffer. The other thing that I want to touch on is when yesterday when I didn't feel my head, they were saying what was happening was sacred union. Baba Ji came in twice and just was showing me that I was in sacred union. And it's very blissful. It's very, very much connected to all that I am. That is all that we all are in that highest benevolence of love. And it's so beautiful. So how is this Lionsgate going to help you? How is August going to help you? How is the Venus retro going to help you? By showing you the relationship with yourself and how you're treating yourself. Are you treating yourself in a loving manner? And if not, what can you do to change that? How is Lionsgate going to help you with the relationships outside yourself? The moment you love yourself enough to say no more, that's a big step. It's very courageous. Okay, that's the courageous lion's heart that says, I love myself to say, I'm not going to accept this in the way that I'm being treated anymore. But remember one thing. Everyone in your life is a mere reflection. And we are learning in these mirror reflections parts of ourself, okay? So if someone's reflecting something to you and you don't like it, take a look at yourself and go, okay, why don't I like that within that person? Why am I letting that person treat me that way? And when you identify the reason is when you're going to have an epiphany, an aha moment, and go, and know that that is something that you have to heal within yourself by letting it go. Lionsgate is a big vacuum of purification. I see it every time. It's like there's this coning that comes in. So the things you're letting go are going out while it's amplifying your big heart. We are all love. We are the energy of love. It's who we are. How else is Lionsgate going to help? It will help by allowing you to see that which is within you and always shall be. Eternal love's light. Eternal love's hold. The threshold of love. May it be ever bold. May you see your truth with the eyes of the heart, and may you feel divine love and shall it never part. Matera quintas natura maya. I am. We are one. Oof, I'm like, I'm telling you, the cosmic energies, there are massive cosmic energies coming in. Let them come in and flow through your body because they're activating you. And your hearts are being amplified now. And the brilliance of this light that's coming in is so beautiful as it's flowing. And of course I'm starting to spin because it's coming above, going down, and Gaia is coming up through me at the same time. And that's what I call when Solaris and Gaia are both flowing through you in this divine energy, in this spiraling motion. It's like they're making love through you. It's creating an orgone energy. And so it's like very blissful. It's not sexual, it's bliss. It's the true bliss of God, of source, of the mother God, the father God, the goddess flowing through you. Allow it to flow, because what's happening is they're amplifying you and you're being activated in your crystalline process. It's amplifying the cells in your body so that you can become lighter and lighter. Matarakia naya at. So for those that don't know me, I do light language activations. My guides have said I'm a master at light language. I've done this in all my lives. So I'm going to be doing some activations. I'm still spinning because it's flowing through me. I will do some activations that are going to be for this Lionsgate for August. And oh, it's so beautiful. The other thing is the 13th. That's right. I remember this. Thank you. That reminded me. The 13th is what we call Goddess Day. I have that on my Patreon every month, but it is the day that we always honor the divine feminine. So that number was taken and it was misconstrued. It was demonized when it's a very powerful day for women. So the 13th through the 15th, which the 15th is the Assumption of Mother Mary, those days are going to be amplified from the 13th through the 15th in the divine love of the Cosmic Mother and all that represent the Divine Mother's energy that have come to the planet and Gaia. So it's going to be the 13th, it's going to be very powerful. The 14th you will still feel, and the 15th we are going to be connecting with Mother Mary as a representative of the earth as well. So oh, I'm still feeling this energy. It's very flowing and blissful. My whole body is it's shaking, but my cells are all activated right now as I'm talking to all of you. So all right, I'm going to do some activations. I am a wayshower of the ascension process of the awakening. For those of you that don't know, this is what I do. I do have a Patreon and I do have a website. You can look at it, it's over there. I do private sessions where I go into your subconscious. They've been shut down for a while because I'm catching up from months of sessions booked in advance. So more will be opening soon. Yes, and October I will be in Egypt, so I will probably not be doing sessions in Egypt because I'm focusing on that retreat. So, all right, let's do these activations, everyone. If you wish to accept the healing that's going to come through, just say, I accept this healing from Keleena. And make sure your hands or palms facing up on your lap, which means you're open and ready to receive. And if any of you start speaking light language after you've listened to my video or any of the other videos, it's my job here to actually activate the star seeds to remember who they are and to remember their star language. So that's something I've been doing a long time. I've activated thousands of people, and it's such a beautiful flow when you allow yourself to express through your sacred voice the language of light, which is the language from above that comes through us and expresses love, blessings, gratitude, and all that is. Matarakia Naya At. Naya Kwatamaraya. Ya Unyanamotu. Shamira krasna santa turina nenia teknt amaraki sashut na ura machna inna mornit iras sam urna nanne nechnt era uch. Ma kat it amma. Mashutas namara in. Sasakiras nasunta shnamad unne mich echnana et sit et ush yara anamak und ki madonna makina. We are complete, they're saying. We are complete. So if you didn't listen to the full video, if you scroll through just to get the activations, make sure you go back and listen because there's some other ones in there as well. You don't want to miss them. I will be doing another video that will be on Patreon for the second half of August. I did include a little bit in here, but there will be even more because it's going to shift. The energy is going to shift by the end of this month. But just no, take things easy. Don't try to do too much. Don't push yourself and allow yourself to slow down right now and receive this beautiful expression of divine love that's coming into the earth and activating your heart for expansion, to be in your truth, okay, to be in love. And take these steps of courage for those of you that just know there's something that you're supposed to do and you've been holding it back. This is the time right now, because the courageous lion's heart is the time for you to take that leap of faith and see what happens, and don't look back. All right, I love you. Madara namiana kiyata shnayar. Eternal love, eternal light, eternal life. Maya kita ayat. From my heart to yours, many blessings. I love you. Yo soy tu, Farashya.